Child welfare advocates are warning of another stolen generation unless drastic changes are made to Tasmania's child protection structure. In a damning draft report obtained by 7:30 Tasmania, the state's ombudsman has found widespread failings in the system, implicating a number of government departments. The revelations come the same day as the state's Children's Commissioner, Aileen Ashford, has resigned, expressing frustration at the position's lack of powers. Tyson Shine reports.
It's very heartbreaking, not knowing whether he's okay or whether he'd forgotten about us. Yet my mum's still on antidepressants. It had a huge impact on their health and my own. She had to go on to blood pressure tablets and see somebody. So I just didn't understand why this was happening.
In 2009, a 6-year-old boy was taken into state care while police investigated his mother over a separate issue. For the boy's extended family, it was the start of a 17-month-long battle for custody. The toddler's aunt says it took 12 months and lobbying by an advocacy group before the authorities would even let her see her nephew.
She was having no luck in contacting child protection in regards to her nephew, and she asked me to come along and help her.
What does it say about the service overall if it takes external involvement from a third party to get answers?
Well, it's not very family friendly or family focused.
Frustrated, she asked Tasmania's ombudsman to look into her battle. 7:30 Tasmania has obtained the ombudsman's draft report. It raises serious allegations against the department and some staff and questions the accuracy of documents lodged in court. The report states members of the family contacted Child and Family Services several times a week, seeking updates on the boy's well-being, requesting contact with him and offering themselves as kinship carers. They were told by Child Protection Services that
nothing could be progressed until Tasmania Police had finalised its investigation.
The Ombudsman found
this was not the case.
Under state law, it's the department's obligation to try and keep a child within the extended family when appropriate. The draft report found that 17 days into his state care, the boy's foster carer was told it was likely the toddler would be placed with her until he was 18 years old. The Ombudsman found that
this suggestion was made despite assessments not having been conducted at this very early stage.
I just couldn't believe that. That they'd gone and said that to her, that she could keep him. When he's had family, loved him. It's just another thing I just couldn't understand why. Why we're being treated like this. I'm not a bad person.
They shouldn't have judged. It's just the judgment values that came from this whole thing. You have one family member that's not doing so well and has, made mistakes. You can't judge the whole family. We've all got someone in our family that has made mistakes. We shouldn't all be judged accordingly.
Human rights lawyer Greg Barnes says the system isn't working in the best interests of children.
The most tragic flaw in the current Tasmanian system is when you see a mother give birth and you've got child protection workers with a court document, a warrant, which gives them the right to take the baby within hours of that baby being born. That is the creation of a new stolen generation, and there will be a reckoning and an accounting at some future point for that conduct.
He wants an overhaul of the current structure.
The Act itself forces people's hands. It means that you go down a litigation path when you should actually be doing what's done in New Zealand and various other places, and that is sitting around in a collaborative fashion and working through issues rather than first resort being heading to the courts. The moment you head to the courts in any arena, I can say this as a lawyer, the last place you should go is the courts.
In his draft report, the Ombudsman also looked at the way Child and Family Services prepared documents for court. After interviewing staff within the department, he found that information in affidavits presented to the court was inconsistent with the information in the case files. A staff member said,
"We dish up as much dirt as we can. We put ridiculous things in affidavits just to paint a picture of how bad the mother is."
Ombudsman Leon Atkinson McEwen said it was deeply disturbing that workers were playing fast and loose with the truth, and that the information recorded in affidavit material presented to the court was factually inaccurate or deliberately untruthful.
There is a definite culture of them and us within it. There's a middle class attitudes. They judge the parents because they think, some of them are a bit, they're the working class and the underclass. And the parents think they're going quite mad. They'll be accused of things that they've, think, where did that come from? Just for the worker to build their case.
Honestly don't know how those people can live with themselves what they've done. I really don't.
What you do see is some exaggeration. I think you see a propensity on the part of Child Protection Services to, if you like, list the number of flaws that parents might have. And a lot of those flaws, aren't flaws. They're actually what's called poverty.
7:30 Tasmania requested an interview with Child and Family Services but was told it would be inappropriate for the department to comment on an Ombudsman's draft report. Tasmania Police had a similar response, as did the Minister for Children, Michelle O'Byrne. It's not enough for advocates who are demanding an overhaul of the system.
They're out of control. They think they've got so much power and they think they can do what they like because they are one of the most powerful laws in our country. Child protection, nothing overrides it. So they come to us and they let it all out at us, and basically, you just feel so powerless. I feel powerless because you know that these parents are being set up.
It's also not enough for the aunt at the centre of the case, who's unhappy with the formal apology from the department after finally gaining custody of her nephew.
It's not even worth the paper it's written on, I'm afraid. That sort of apology just don't cut what they've done. It doesn't make up for all the hurt and heartache that they've caused our family and that little boy. He's still suffering because of them. They caused him unnecessary trauma when he could have been with his family.
In a statement, Deputy Police Commissioner Scott Chilliard said Tasmania Police has not seen a full copy of the draft report and that it would be unfair to comment on a report that could be changed.